In this video, we're going to be looking at setting up the Yokomo DP-302 V4 gyro, along with this Futaba T4PM controller, all on this rear-wheel drive drift car. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is Roadside RC. You'll tend to find me bashing and crawling and drifting and racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. And on the workbench, Usakani, this is the NGE, got this from my buddy. He's put the Yokomo gyro in it. He just got this beautiful Futaba T4PM controller, and so he was asking for my help of getting that Yokomo gyro all set up and making sure that it all works. So I'm going to get a battery in it, we're going to see what our baseline is, and then we're going to go through the full DP-302 V4. We're going to go through the full setup so that you also know how to get this gyro set up on your drift car. The first step here is just to understand what we're working with. So we're going to fire up the controller itself, then we're going to turn on the vehicle. It's got a loud fan on it, doesn't it? And then we're just going to see, all right, I'm noticing that we're not getting full steering lock, so that's one thing that we're going to have to work on. And then the other thing is, yes, it looks like the servo is actually, the gyro is actually working in the correct direction. So the car moves this way, it corrects. The car moves that way, it corrects. So that's a good sign. That means we are at least preliminarily in the direction that we want to be here. So the first thing we need to do, controller's powered on, we're going to hold down the endpoint button and we're going to turn everything on. We have flashing lights on there. We're going to turn to one side to where we want the servo, where we want the endpoint to be. So I want it right about there. Hit the button once, it gives me flashes. I'm going to turn it the other way until this is maxed out with travel where I want it. And I hit the button, it flashes. Then it flashes, turns green, and now we are back in business. And if we test this, we should now have full travel both directions, which we did not before. So that is great. We're now going to move over to this other side of the gyro. Now, the first thing that you see on there is a reverse versus normal switch. What that does is when you turn the wheel, if it turns the opposite direction, so like right here, I'm going to turn it right and it goes right. If, on the other hand, it was going left while I turn right, you can flip that reverse switch on there and it will turn that around for you. The other thing that's on there is you have assist versus normal mode. The Yokomo gyro, what that means is normal versus assist. Normal is snappy steering when it comes back. The assist mode puts it into a slow return. You see it do it there? So it goes from a fast return to a slow return, just like that, with a flip of a switch on the gyro. The slow return, what they call assist mode, really helps you run very high levels of gyro gain without any kind of gyro wobble. So let's see if I can show you that exactly. I'm going to put it back into normal mode and we're going to try to drift it. So this is actually really easy to see. Here, gyro set at 100% gain in normal mode. And look at those front wheels. Now to get rid of that, we're going to put this into assist mode. That again, what it does is it slows down that steering response. We may still not be able to drive 100% gyro gain, but we're going to be able to drive a lot more than we would otherwise. That is a lot smoother, and then we're running the 100% gyro gain and it's not even wobbling. That's crazy. Or wobbles just a very small amount, so we can back it down just a little bit. You know, I typically run my gyro 80-90%, something like that, so we can back it down and you'll never notice a wobble ever again. So the other thing I've never understood about these gyros is they have what they call the hard versus the soft mode. This green that you see here is the soft mode, and they say that is supposed to be for expert users. And then there's a red that you can get it to go to, and they said that's more for everyday users. So you can see the two different colors there. Now all I'm doing is he has this set up on channel 4 on his controller. So if I have anything in the positive direction, you see that it is at green. And all I do is rotate it down here and get it into the negative direction, and it is red. I've honestly never understood what hard versus soft meant, so let's give it a shot and try it. I'm going to crank the gain way up. I want this gyro to be as sensitive as possible. So I'm going to put it into normal mode, not assist. And I'm going to crank the gain all the way to soft, see what it does, see how the car drives. I'm going to crank it all the way to hard, see how it drives, and see if I can tell the difference. I'll do it in 3 ways. I'll do a circle, I'll do a figure 8, and then I'll try to do a little bit more of a pattern, kind of what I call the big C after that. So hold the circle easy. Figure 8's not a problem. Now we have flipped it over, we're on the hard setting. Seems a little harder to actually hold a consistent circle. For some reason. It's like I don't know what it's doing. Trying to figure out. Hard versus soft. I legitimately don't know. I legitimately can't tell you really what the difference is between hard and soft. The hard mode, that's supposed to be more the general use condition, it was actually harder to drive with. It was like it was trying to override the controls a little bit, whereas when you put it on soft, it seemed a little more direct. It was doing exactly what I thought it should be doing when it was in soft, but yet I put it on hard and it, yeah, I don't know how to describe it actually. It's kind of like it had a mind of its own, like it was trying to drive where it wanted to drive instead of where I wanted to send it, you know, whenever I was doing that. So that felt really odd. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't the gyro gain set super high that was an issue, so I also turned the gyro down to about 50%, drove it both hard and soft mode. Still, I'm struggling to actually figure out what the difference is. So if anybody out there is better than me and can actually tell the difference between the hard and soft mode, please let us know down in the comments, because as near as I can tell, my recommendation is just put it in the soft mode and have fun. Now, I want to point out something here. We did that full setup with this Yokomo gyro, And we didn't touch the settings in the controller once. I made sure at the very beginning of it that the steering endpoints were both set at 100, and then after that, we left it. There's literally nothing that you have to do in the controller itself in order to set up this gyro, which is really, really nice, except for setting up the gyro gain, which was set in on channel 3 here, and that channel 3 was set to this front switch so that we could easily manipulate it there. But really, otherwise, everything is just set up through the gyro itself. I'm going to leave this thing now set on the soft mode with the assist on, because I really am a big fan of that slow return, and I have the total gyro gain set at 80% in the controller itself. And at that point, it is done and done. Everything is ready to go. So I hope this was useful for you. This is a really, really great, this DP-302 V4. Make sure it's not the YG. The YG is a piece of junk. The DP-302 V4 is such a good gyro to get for drifting. It really, really works so well. So I'm going to actually do the finished setup. I have some other things I need to check on for this car in order to get it fully set up and ready to go back to the owner. I'm going to get to working on that. I'm going to ask you to come over here and check out. I also have a setup video for the Futaba GYD 450. So if you are considering a gyro, this Yokomo, that Futaba 450, both of those really, really good choices. So I'm going to lead you to a video over here where you can see that GYD 450 and how to set it up and what it is. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in that video. Goodbye.